The ultimate propaganda is making people misanthropic. Misanthrope, I believe is how it's pronounced, is when you are just a hater of human beings in general. And there are hatred cults everywhere. Hatred psychosis everywhere, all the time. And if it's not happening in real life, it could even be artificially generated. There could be bots. There could be, people as pretend agents, stoking the fire. And everybody seems to fall for it. And you feel like hating is just so natural. This is where non-dualism comes into play. Understanding consciousness comes into play. Everything has its duality. And I briefly want to touch on the fact that I actually talked about categorical versus individual supremacy in one of my TikToks. And I lost some followers based on that. And it made me realize how much understanding reality is a party trick for people. How much when people want to understand consciousness, they don't. They only want to understand it from the left side of the brain, and that's it. They don't want to imagine knowing how everything works. And once again, like everything you're allowed to know, and then still behaving the exact same way from before you knew the information, right? If you're not willing to accept that you have demons and darkness, that your demons have light, I don't know what to tell you. We need to be able to understand that stuff in real life. How did you think it was going to look? Like you're going to study it in a book or something? Coming back to the whole hatred psychosis cult thing, what is it that makes this work? And even in hatred, it is love. Why? Because these people understand your heart. Or if it's not a person, it's a bot, it's something else entirely, a system. It caters to your heart, not to your logic. That's how cults work. That's why you're able to see like the greatest scientists at like whatever age, and you might think that that person is just so mature. How could they have fallen for this? Like, because we never speak with our hearts. We never listen to the heart. And hatred and effective demonic intelligence or presences know this very well. They know how to speak to what's deep down within you and make it work. So like you could just be the kind of person who's misanthropic. I mean, you hate love, but you also love hate. You can never separate those two things. The worst person you know, and that's I think why they call it a formidable foe. Like they gotta have some pull, I think, in the collective on this dimension, but they're going to have similar devotional language to you. And it's our job to integrate those things. It's our job to silence the noise on the outside where people tell us what to think and what to feel, and tell us what to be mad at and like look within. When you can do this, you set yourself free. But if your care about consciousness, if your care about expanding your mind is just limited to looking cool on the internet or saying the right things that'll get you party trick points, then you must not really care about cosmology and consciousness the way you claim to. There is more to reality than meets the eye. And if you don't get hip to that real quick, there's always darker forces that do. They get it. And this resistance people have towards applying knowledge is what really upsets me. It's like, how much do people really care about this stuff? Why do they even watch my content? And in no way was I advocating for any race's supremacy in that video. That one in question would have been about white supremacy. But it's about understanding things at the deepest level. I understand this is the most etheric thing. It's like if you're a psychiatrist, you're trying to understand the mindset of a serial killer, of a pedophile. Like, and somehow that is wrong. Understanding something, expanding your mind, doesn't equate to self-betrayal. The cosmos are infinite, so is the divine. The divine is itself and its creation, its self-sources. And it is comprised of all of its dimensions within its inner verse. That spits out an outer verse, which is our material universe, which contains everything within there, you know? And whenever we try to banish demons, does that guarantee that they're going to really be gone, or that they might come back in fuller force because now they have a home, because we never integrated them and made us their home? Transformation is key. What is a miracle if not the greatest amount of transformation happening over the shortest amount of time? And yeah, I get it, your initial conditions of life can suck, but maybe the alpha and the omega, because people are not going to really like trust. Well, they would, but they would have deeper trust, not if someone goes from A to B or A to D, but someone who goes from A to Z. Alpha and the omega, right? That's a whole universe that you self-realized within yourself. And yeah, the initial conditions, like A is far apart from Z, but it's also like the opposite side of the coin too. Like when you have a circle and you make points, there's no beginning or end, but if you decide a beginning, the end is also right next to it. What does all of this mean? I don't know. No, I'm just kidding. It means that if you are going through something and you're struggling with opening your inner verse, or expanding it rather, then that's okay. Take your time. But there's expectations I do have on people who watch my content, to be applying the knowledge, because otherwise it's pointless and useless to transmit if you're going to go back and like view everything else as more powerful than you, every system as more powerful than you, and everything is everyone or something else's fault. I'm not ever going to sit here and once again victim blame, and I don't have to keep repeating myself with these caveats, right? You should understand it at some point, but like, personal power is the secret. It is the remembrance that you are that infinite. And infinity includes positive and negative infinity, light and dark, the darkest dark. You don't have to sit there and someone hits you and you just forgive them. That's because, I don't know why people think that that's what it has to be. It just means understanding how these things work. And in fact, I've experienced this in real time. When you can understand how those things work, those things that are within their darkness, they feel accepted and loved, and they're actually more willing to change than if you had pushed them away. Then you're stoking the fire there again. When you really are connected, you are one with the cosmos. You will be open to everything the cosmos has to share. It doesn't matter how you sound to the rest of the world. The truth is the truth. Everything has its duality. And we all have those things as latent properties within us. Otherwise, we would not all be here on this planet with our collective consciousness agreements for things to play out in divine play or lila. So really consider, when you're wanting to say that you want to understand these things, it won't be understood until you're willing to apply them. And we have to get past manufactured outrage and projecting what we believe another person will do onto them. We will never know of a new future if we don't take the steps to let that new future, new way of being, reveal itself to us. And that can only happen when we complete our samsara on earth, the subset of samsara, which includes purging the darkness, loving it, forgiving it, integrating it, becoming one with it, and expanding your inner verse so that we can contribute to making a better shared outer verse.